Canada's most prominent gun control group, has some tough words for Justin Trudeau. PolySeSouvient, or PolyRemembers, says that the Prime Minister will not be welcome at the next memorial to the victims of the École Polytechnique shooting. That mass shooting in Montreal took place in 1989, took the lives of 14 women. The reason why Trudeau finds himself unwelcome? His government's gun control policies. A new revised plan on the ban of assault-style weapons was proposed last week, but the group feels this new revised plan waters down promises originally made by Trudeau on gun control. Nathalie Provost joins us on the line, Polytechnique Survivor and a spokesperson for the gun control group PolySeSouvient. Nathalie, welcome back to the program.
Good morning.
So, you've uninvited the Prime Minister. You say he's not welcome. Why did you have to, go down that path of uninviting the Prime Minister from future events?
It's the second time we're uninviting Minister Trudeau. In the last two elections, he promised to ban assault-style weapons. He even had a strong promise on gun control in 2015 when he was first elected. But in 2019 and 2021, there was some strong promises. But in the spring of 2021, he wanted to propose not a mandatory buyback program, but a voluntary buyback program. And for us, it was of no use. So we told him, if it's the way he's banning assault-style weapons, for us, it's not true. And again, with the last proposition we had from that was presented by Minister Mendicino and adopted by the committee last week, the new definition is just for future assault-style weapons. The list of assault-style weapons that are already banned by an IOC is from 2020, and there's 482 models that are not covered either by the IOC or by the new definition. So if they're applying the mandatory buyback on those weapons, someone who has the permit to have that kind of weapon, it will be able to buy to the government is ban assault-style weapon, but to buy a new one that is not in the covered by definition or covered by the IOC. So for us, it's not a real ban.
Now, Nathalie, I get why your group is upset, but I'm happy you brought this up, because I was going to bring it up that this is not the first time you've laid out the unwelcome mat for the Prime Minister. You've done this before, where you've said don't show up. My concern is you have a Prime Minister, and for all the things that he does wrong, he's clearly an advocate for gun control. And I wonder, what's the message you send to anyone that would want to work with your group if someone doesn't do exactly what you want? Okay, you're uninvited. I wonder how you end up with progress if you constantly uninvite and then welcome him back and then uninvite someone as important as the Prime Minister.
We have only one word, and our first request in January 1990 was we asked students, professors, the community of Polytechnique asked for a total and permanent ban on assault-style weapons. That's our first and main request, and it's an historical request. So when a Prime Minister promise something to group or people like us and just don't deliver, but wants to come back to cry with us and to commemorate, we cannot talk from both sides of the mouth. I don't know if it's an expression in English.
Yes, it is.
It is in French. So we feel a bit betrayed by those promises. So that's our only tool to express our insatisfaction. And we can find ways, and we are not at the extremes. We only want to have a real ban on assault-style weapons. even those who are for gun rights say that we are right. It's not a real ban. It's not, if we're not having a comprehensive ban, if there's loopholes in it, what's the use of it?
So, Nathalie, last year when all of this there was so much debate over this bill, the Assembly of First Nations unanimously came out. They unanimously voted against Ottawa's proposed gun control legislation. So I'm just trying to think about, you have a government that is trying to do right by you and other gun control advocates. They're getting pushback from various groups, Indigenous leaders, they're getting pushback from hunters, and they're trying to do a balance here, and not everyone can be happy, right? So
yeah, but the opposition of the First Nation was based on hunting rifles and their right to hunt, their right to have exemption because of their historical claim. I don't know if we say claim, but
yes.
So their values, what they are requesting. And we, even in December, even PolySeSouvient said, we totally understand their rights and we have to respect their rights. But there is ways to do it correctly. But what we understand is that the compromise was made with the NDP in order to have something not too strong, in order to have less opposition from gun rights lobby. And they are trying to find the smaller definition just to please everyone. But by pleasing everyone, it's not a way to answer the needs of Canadians, because I feel a bit pushed by you, because you're saying that what I request is too much. But we are surveying people in Canada, and year after year after year, more than 70, sometimes 80% of the whole population in Canada wants to have a comprehensive and permanent ban on assault-style weapons. So what I'm requesting and what PolySeSouvient wants, there's a lot of Canadians who want that too, and they don't want to have measures. They want to have the full thing, because we have an issue with gun violence in Canada.
So, Nathalie, listen, I just want to put my cards out on the table. I hate guns. I don't want guns. I can't stand them. I don't see the reason for them. But then I hear from all types of groups that are saying that, and by the way, groups that have never been traditionally deemed as some groups that are like, rah, rah, we want all the guns, right? When I hear from various groups that were saying, well, what the government was doing was wrong or ill-informed, or there were issues with it, and then I hear your reaction or your group's reaction is, Prime Minister, you can't come to our events anymore. I feel it's just so polarized, and sometimes you just need to put a little bit of water in the wine to make people happy here and to have progress too, by the way.
We put water in our wine, but I will never be able to put water in my wine, regarding assault-style weapon, because it's an historical request from PolySeSouvient, and that's the first issue we asked for in 1990. And Mr. Trudeau knew that. We met him many, many times since 2014, and he was not Prime Minister. And he knew that it will be our first and main request. And we talked with them, we made propositions, there was some ways, but now it's not because of it's not based on data or on facts. It's a political decision. It's a pure political decision. I'm sure there's a way to satisfy that request, and that's not a caprice. I don't know if it exists in English, that word. It's not a caprice. It's a request from more than 70% of Canadians all across the country, even those in the rural regions. So
Nathalie, and I'm among the 70%. You have all the polling in the world that supports you here. We have to wrap up here, but I'll ask you one more question. Is there anyone else that should get the invitation who should also not be welcome in the Liberal government in your mind, or is it just all end on the Prime Minister?
That's mainly Prime Minister who came, and he's from Quebec. And if I understand correctly, that is a really important symbol to him. And we believe that the man wants to have a permanent ban on assault-style weapon, I'm sure. But he's also the Prime Minister. He has to govern, and he decided to govern with politics, with votes, and that's why we have half measure. And our only tool to express is to invite or uninvite him. And I'm sure he'll be shy. He personally looking high into the eye with Madame Edwards, who lost her daughter, and he promised her in her eyes that he will do that strongly, and that's not what we're having. So
do you feel betrayed? Do you feel betrayed by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau?
Yes, and we said that last Monday.
Mm-hmm. We have to leave it there, Nathalie. I want to thank you for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
You know, I know sometimes you got to answer tough questions here because there was a lot of pushback, and not for me, but there was a lot of pushback. Sometimes it leads to tough questions.
We understand, but there was also a lot of disinformation, and every time we were asked questions regarding hunting rifles, we always repeated, and we repeated from the last more than 30 years, we do not have any issues with reasonably designed for hunting weapons.
Nathalie, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.